Good morning, boys and girls, and today I have another story for you from an illustrated treasury of Scottish mythical creatures. And we're going to read the third story in the book, and it's called The Story of the Giant's Causeway. I have visited the Isle of Staffa in the Western Isles of Scotland and the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. When you look at its enormous paving stones stretching into the water at either end, it's very easy to believe that the path was made by giants who roared at each other across the sea. So this is a tale told long ago when giants both cruel and kindly roamed the earth. In the Western Isles of Scotland there lived a giant called Benandonner. In Ireland there lived a giant called Mythical. The Scottish giant was named Benandonner on account of his red hair. But why the Irish giant was named Mythical, I do not know, for I'm a Scot. If you want to find out the answer to that question, you'll have to ask an Irish person. Benandonner and Finn were sometimes kind and sometimes cruel, but mostly they were just crabbit and bad-tempered, and often quarrelled with each other. As the whole width of the sea separated them, they had to be content with yelling insults in loud voices. "You're a tumshy," Benandonner taunted Finn one day. "And you're a bigger tumshy," Finn replied. "You're an even bigger tumshy," Benandonner screamed, blowing thatches off cottages near where he lived in a cave on the island of Staffa. "You're the biggest tumshy there is," Finn screeched, causing his cattle to hurtle through hundreds of hedges and land in Loch Neagh. Losing his temper completely, Finn picked up a rock and chucked it over the water. It bounced off Benandonner's head. Benandonner shook his fist at Finn and he bawled, "If I could swim, I would come and beat your hairy hide." "Come on then, why don't you?" Finn shouted. "To make it easy for you, I'll build a bridge between our two countries, so I will." "Go ahead then," said Benandonner, "if you dare." Finn waited until nightfall when Benandonner would be asleep. Under a bright moon he set to work. He sliced long pillars from the black basalt stone cliffs next to his house. Then he chopped at the sides so they would have straight edges. He shaped them with 6 sides or more to fit together like paving stones. And he made sure they were tall. He wanted them to be tall enough so that he could slam them deep down into the seabed, yet have their top ends sticking up above the surface of the water. Thus, he was able to make a causeway that started at the northern tip of Ireland and started across the sea to where Benandonner lived in Scotland. Finn had the path to go right to Benandonner's front door inside his cave on Staffa. After he'd finished, he bounded home, calling back as he went, "Hey, Benandonner, now you have no namby-pamby excuse not to come over here and fight with me." When Benandonner saw what Mythical had done, he clapped his hands in glee. So hard did he clap his hands that the blast of air obliterated the mountain summit of Duncan on Rassie, which is still flat to this very day. Then Benandonner sang out, "Fiddle-dee-dee and fiddle-dee-dum, watch out Finn, here I come." In Ireland, Finn spoke to his wife Una. "Look," he said proudly, "I've made an easy path which I can use to run to Scotland and take some of their cattle. I could snatch 6 sheep, 3 under each arm, and be home in time for dinner." "But," said Una, "I've heard tell that the Scottish giant is a giant among giants." "That's just blarney," said her husband. "Everyone knows that the Scots are wee folk. I'll step on Benandonner and squish him flat." "But," said Una, "I've heard tell that the Scottish giant wears a kilt that's the size of all of Ireland." "Nay, woman," said Finn. "Stoke up the fire." He uprooted 2 large chestnut trees. "Here's some kindling to get the flames started. Boil the pot, hee hee," he laughed. For our supper tonight, we'll have Scots porridge made from a real Scot." "But," said Una, "I've heard tell that the Scottish giant can sit on Ben Nevis and paddle his feet into Loch Lomond." "Nonsense," Finn scoffed, and taking great strides he began to walk along the causeway. It was nearly gloaming when Finn set out, with sun sinking in the west. As he approached Scotland he saw an orange gleam in the sky. "Ah," he said, "it's a glorious sunset we're having this evening." But it wasn't the sun that was setting. It was the top of Ben and Donner's head peeking up over the horizon, his carroty red hair glowing in the sun. "Ah!" said Finn. "There's the shine of water. It must be a Scottish river I see sparkling in the light." But it wasn't a river sparkling in the light. It was the eyes of Ben and Donner glistening with rage as he clenched his fist in anger. "Ah!" said Finn. There was the thick grass and the heather of the Scottish hills. But it was neither the thick grass, nor was it the heather. It was the two huge, hairy legs of Ben and Donner showing beneath his kilt as he marched closer and closer to Finn MacCool. The next minute Finn heard Ben and Donner bellowing, "Fiddle-dee-dee and fiddle-dee-dum! Watch out, Finn, here I come!" Finn looked up and up and up and up and up. In all his life, he had never seen such a gigantic giant. With a skip and a hop and a very long leap, Finn scarpered as fast as he could back to Ireland. "What's wrong?" Una cried when she saw him scuttling towards her. "Help!" Finn shouted to his wife. "Help! Ben and Donner is coming." "You wanted to fight him," said Una. "So why are you running away?" "He's a giant!" shouted Finn. Ben and Donner is a real giant." "And so are you," said Una, and she hit him on the head with the ladle from the pot. However, as soon as Finn's wife caught sight of Ben and Donner, she said, "Even between us, we won't be able to beat him. What can we do?" "Nothing." Finn sat down on a stool and he began to wail. Una hit him on the head again with the ladle. Then she took a sheet off their bed and quickly wrapped her husband up in it. Round and round, with only 2 eyes of his face were peeping out, swaddled like a baby. She stuck him in the branches of a nearby oak tree. And when Ben and Donner pounded up to her house, Una was bending over her swaddled husband and she was ladling soup into his mouth and crooning, "Hush, my baby, don't fret thee. Your dada won't let the Scottish giant get thee." "Baby? Baby?" Ben and Donner looked at the enormous bundle nestling in the branches of the oak tree. "If that's your baby, what size must his daddy be?" "Finn MacCool's height is halfway to the moon," Una answered him. "His girth would measure twice around the Mourne Mountains." "And this is his child?" Ben and Donner asked, his voice quavering. "Oh yes," said Una. "This one is just a wee bit of laddie. His father, my husband, Finn MacCool, is on the road to Dublin to fetch his own 2 big brothers. We're going to have a party." "I won't keep you then," said Ben and Donner. "You want to prepare for your guests arriving." "Stay now," said Una. "You can join us for singing and dancing." No. Thanks all the same," Ben and Donner stammered. "I must get home," and he hurried back to Scotland. The following morning, Ben and Donner thought more about the story Una had told him and said to himself, "I'll just take another walk across there and see what's what." But when he came out of his cave on Staffa, the causeway had vanished. During the night, Finn MacCool had pulled up his paving stones and cast them down into the depths of the sea. The waves washed over to sweep the rest away. Today, all that's left of the Giant's Causeway is its beginning and its end. The beginning is on the coast of County Antrim in Northern Ireland, where you can sit in Finn McCool's giant wishing chair. And the end is on Staffa, a small island off the west coast of Scotland. And here you can visit the cave when Ben and Donna lived, which is known as Fingal's Cave. That's the end of that story, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.